Howdy, folks. I'm Pensive Pilled Needs Sulfur, perfectly performing pretend pageants.
I'm Amber.
And the only types of pageants to do are pretend ones, so I fit right in. Let's get started. Am I a beautiful butterfly for you?
Need to get you a pair of butterfly wings.
All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Expecting My Boyfriend to Grab a Bag for Me? So I'm a 20-year-old female, and I was at my boyfriend's house, a 20-year-old male, yesterday. And I'm on my period, and I keep a few tampons in my purse, but had a ton in a bag that I brought over, along with my change of clothes. When I went over, I went to talk to his mom in the kitchen, and we talked for a few minutes, and I left my bag there. I went to his room, and there he was playing some games at his desk, and I was on his bed. Well, I started bleeding and went to the bathroom and realized that I had bled through my underwear and a little through my pants. I checked my purse and I saw that I had no tampons, as I had forgot to refill it since I had filled the duffel bag. I realized that I couldn't just go to the kitchen, as I now didn't have any pants, and I couldn't even leave the bathroom because someone might be there. I called my boyfriend and he told me that I should let him finish his game. I asked him how long that would take, and he said that it would be like 20 minutes till he could help me, since him and his friends just got into a new game. I asked him if he expected for me just to wait cramping in the bathroom that him and his sister share for 20 minutes. He told me that me not having tampons in my purse wasn't his problem, and that he wasn't going to sell his game for me. I said that he was being really mean, and when he finally came, I told him that I was upset that he made me wait, and told me that he didn't know what I had expected him to do, and that I needed to manage myself better. I said that even if I did, I still would have bled through, which is why I couldn't leave. He told me that I could have figured it out. I told him that I literally couldn't, and then he just said whatever. And I went home a little while after, and that's when I started to think that maybe I could have planned a little better. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And honestly, it may be time to reevaluate this relationship. He's unwilling to help you when you need a little help. And he's also just sitting around playing video games with his friends when you're over. Like, do you guys actually spend quality time together? Or does he just kind of do his own thing and you just exist in the same space? But like the biggest issue here is that he is willing to let you sit without clothes for 20 minutes until he gets to a game. Like, it would not have been hard to tell his friends, hey, I gotta step out for a minute, run downstairs. Like, you couldn't have known, like, you didn't know when you went to the bathroom you'd bled through your clothes, and like you pointed out, you needed the change of clothes too, not just the tampon. It would have cost him virtually nothing to go down there and get the bag.
Well, I mean, how much time does it take to run downstairs or wherever he is into the kitchen, grab the bag, and run back real quick, right? I mean, there's a good chance that, you know, the game wouldn't have even been impacted at that point in time. And even if it was, what's more important, you know, having a game with your friends or helping your partner who's in need, right?
Right, and I think he's shown that he is an unreliable partner. He's shown that your needs are a lower priority for him than games with his friends.
So I think that this might be something that OP should think about and reflect on. And because like, if this is going to be a pattern of behavior, what is it going to be like if you have a long-term relationship? What happens if you have kids together, right?
Right, is anytime you need help with something, is going to be like, wait, I'm playing my game. Sorry, can't bring you a diaper for the baby. You're going to have to wait 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You should have planned better.
Yeah, and the fact that he's like, oh, you should have planned better. I mean, come on, periods
They're
are
unpredictable.
Right, by nature. Right?
Yeah, and like, they can go from 0 to 60, you know, and sometimes you think you're fine until you're not.
Yeah, and I mean, OP could have grabbed some toilet paper and made themselves a makeshift, pad for a few minutes to go and get stuff, but they still didn't have like the change of clothes that they needed.
That's
right?
it, and like, you know, not everyone wants to be walking around in bloody clothes. Like, it can be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, if OP's not super close with his family or anything, you know, they just may not have felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Being in such a vulnerable position. And people get weird about period blood too, and like, you know, it's just kind of like one of those things where if you have someone who can grab the clothes for you, that's usually the best option, instead of having to like shuffle around trying to hide your bloody clothes.
Yeah. Should OP have yelled loudly to their boyfriend's mother to ask them to bring them the duffel bag.
Oh, maybe that's the strategy next time. Text his mom, be like, "So your son will not is playing video games. It won't help me. Is there any chance you could bring my duffel bag?"
Yeah. I mean, mom might be pretty annoyed that their son was acting like this, right? Like, she might set him straight. She
One can
might.
hope. One can hope.
And if she doesn't, then that's another sign that maybe this isn't the right relationship for you.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Turning Off the Camera When My Husband Goes to Work? I'm a stay-at-home mom currently until I go back to school next month. We have a 2-month-old daughter together that I take care of while he's working. We have 2 cameras in our house, one in the living room and one next to the front door that is also a doorbell. If you're familiar with these smart home cameras, you know that they're able to access them from your phone no matter where you are, as long as you have the cameras themselves connected to the home Wi-Fi. Anyways, we usually only turn the one on in the living room when we're both not at home. I usually unplug the living room camera, I'm paranoid, when I'm home alone with the baby when he's working. I also keep the doorbell camera on though. It's on 24/7 and neither of us ever touch it. Well, we've been arguing because he demands the camera in the living room stay on while he's at work, even though I'm home alone and the doorbell camera is always on. I always unplug it because I hate the feeling of being watched in my own home. Plus, when I am home alone, I'm usually hanging out in the living room in a t-shirt and underwear. I honestly feel creeped out by the camera constantly following me and the feeling of being watched in my underwear. He's always arguing that it's to keep an eye on and check up on me and the baby, but honestly, it just makes me feel worse. If he checks up on me while he's at work, what if somebody comes walking behind him and accidentally sees me in my underwear on his phone? I hate the idea. He also likes to startle and annoy me through the camera when he is on break, so I hate that too. He'll access the camera through the app and start talking to me. The camera follows whatever is moving, so it's not one of those cameras with a fixed angle. I can't just turn it around and face the wall. Am I the jerk for turning off the living room camera? Added to add, we live in an apartment on the 2nd floor, so the front door is the only way anyone can access the apartment. Also, because we live in an apartment, I really can't hang out anywhere else besides our living room. I also pump in the living room because it's more comfortable, and he has accessed the camera and talked to me through it while he's at work, which just makes me feel like my privacy is violated even more. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, absolutely not the jerk. This is very concerning behavior on the part of your husband. I can understand why OP feels violated and uncomfortable with having a camera following her every move when she's in a vulnerable state. Yeah, I would be very creeped out by that. And why is he so insistent? Like, there's a couple of things that could be going on here. One, he could be afraid of cheating, although if the other one camera is always on and they're on the 2nd floor, that doesn't seem like it would be very easy. Or 2, he just likes having easy access to OP whenever he wants. It feels, I don't know, it feels voyeuristic and creepy what he's doing. And
I mean, it's really hard to judge his motives here, right? I mean, this could be either of those options. It could also just be out of a sincere desire to protect OP. I mean, sometimes people get overly protective when their partners have had a child and they, want to protect them or whatnot, right?
I don't see that. With the way he's acting, he's not taking OP's needs into account at all, and he's not like having a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he easily just pick up the phone and be like, when he's on break, and be like, "Hey OP, I just want to check in on you." Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't need 24/7 access to her like that.
Yeah.
And also, these cameras are very insecure.
Oh, and that too, right? I mean, I think like having these cameras, you can hack them. People can, break into them. Sometimes they're just available on the internet,
So, like, I think OP's fears are very well founded. Like, yeah, there's a possibility of coworkers seeing her, and there's also the possibility of random people hacking into the network.
Mm-hmm.
I would not trust to have one of these cameras hanging around me when I'm in my underwear.
Well, that's it. And it's a very intimate thing to be sitting around in your underwear and then have the camera following you around. I mean, it would creep out just about anyone, right?
Yeah, so, like, there's nothing wrong with wanting privacy. And, like, if you can understand why you wouldn't want a camera in the bathroom, it's the same kind of principle. Like, I'm guessing OP is fairly newly postpartum, and like, OP is probably very uncomfortable, and just trying to be as comfortable in her home and her body as she can be, and to feel like you can't even relax in your own home, to feel like you're constantly in a vulnerable state, it's just not good at all.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Call My Coworker Doctor? And Amber would like to read this one.
Silly post, don't read into it too much. I work at a high school as a teacher. My coworker has a PhD in biology and insisted everyone call him Dr. Smith, name changed. Typically in high school, we call teachers as Mr., Ms., Mrs. Anyways, I refuse to call him Dr. Smith. I actually just use his first name, and every time he corrects a high school student, I just roll my eyes. I also have a master's degree. As a joke, I told my/our students, we often do joint lectures, that they should all call me Master Yi, name change but I am Asian. They thought it was hilarious because it reminds them of Kung Fu or whatever, so now all the students call me Master Yi. Coworker insisted I correct the students and set an example by calling him Dr. Smith. I told him he has to call me Master Yi first. He has not, so I continue to refer to him as Mr. Smith. So am I the jerk for refusing to use his official earned title? All right, what do you think?
So a PhD is a honorific, and it is an official title. And if he wants to use this official title in a professional setting, then he is absolutely entitled to do so. Whether OP feels like it's overboard or not, it's not up to them. They should respect their honorific and and use the proper title and not set a bad example for the students, right? It's a professional courtesy. If you want to be a professional in a professional setting, then you need to act like a professional. And OP is acting anything but professional in this particular case. They're acting like they are a high school student.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that this isn't in the break room. I could understand if they were in the break room why OP, would want to, just talk to one-on-one using names and stuff. But this is in front of students. And Dr. Smith has earned their title, and they deserve to be able to use that and to have that title respected in front of students. And you should not be so dismissive and condescending toward your colleague in front of students.
Yeah.
OP is setting up a hostile environment because high school students will pick on these things and they'll be vicious, and it's not okay. You need to be a united front and show professional courtesy to each other. Yeah. Master is not a title like doctor is. No. And I'm wondering if OP is feeling a little salty because they don't have a doctorate. There's nothing stopping them from going back to school and getting a doctorate if they really want one. And a lot of times the schools will pay for you to do advanced degree work. I have high school teachers who went on to get their PhDs, who didn't have them when I started, but went on to get their PhDs, and the school paid for them. But it is a lot of work, and it deserves the recognition.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Husband's Childhood Best Friend that she's too involved with my kid? A little bit over a year and a half ago, me and my husband gave birth to our son. It was our first kid, and we were incredibly nervous and scared that we were going to mess things up. Well, the first few weeks with him back were horrid. He cried all the time and was ridiculously exhausting, but I would be lying to say that we didn't know what we were getting into. At the start, my husband's best friend was amazing. She would come around all the time and bring us food and spend time with our son, sitting so that we could have some time away, and really appreciated the help, and she seemed to genuinely love my son. Well, when my maternity leave was finished and I went back to work, she offered even more of her time to help with babysitting instead of me hiring someone. I said that I couldn't make her do that, and she surely had other things that she had to do, and she said that it was fine. She works from home on her online business anyways, and she even refused pay. And honestly, I didn't mind any of the help until now. I recently noticed on our doorbell that she has been coming in at night while I was doing the occasional night shifts. I thought that it was a little strange, but free help, so I never confronted it as weird, as I felt that it was normal. But yesterday, when I came home from a shift and found my son playing with her and found that he kept referring to her as Mama, I think something kind of broke inside of me, and I told her to get out. She protested and asked what was wrong, and I just asked her to leave and not come here again. And she just accused me of being jealous and that I was scared of being replaced. She pointed out that if I was a more involved parent, that my husband and son wouldn't need a quote-unquote second wife. I screamed at her and I told her that if she knows what's good for her, that she'll get out. She finally did. My husband came home a little bit afterwards, and I told him about it, and he just shrugged and didn't say anything. But my mother-in-law called and had a go at me, basically repeating her talking points and saying that I needed to apologize. And honestly, I'm at a loss because at this point I feel really bad and like I went too far. Am I the jerk? At it, my mother-in-law just called my husband to quote-unquote set me straight and allow my husband's best friend to be allowed in the house and see her grandson, and that I need to get used to the fact that my son sees someone else as a mom at this point, and she practically is a second wife, especially considering that I'm working. And honestly, I'm tired of her and you in the comments who think that I'm a bad mom for working. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. Holy heck, boundary stomping here. Your husband needs to get on board with you ASAP, and I think mother-in-law needs to get a little time out. That is completely inappropriate overreach of her, and a completely inappropriate overreach of the best friend to position herself as a second mom. She is manipulating you, has been taking advantage of your kindness, pretending like she's doing a great favor to try and become your husband's new wife and your kid's new mom. And it is gross and disgusting that she and your mother-in-law seem to be insinuating that she is a second wife and the kid's true mom now.
So I think this is a little tiny bit of a tricky situation in the respect that it seems like this is the first time that OP's caught their child calling her mom. And it's hard to know how, if this was being encouraged by her or if this just is something that happened, right? And I think like if it was an innocent thing where the kid just kind of called her mom and it wasn't really intended and that she's not encouraging it, that might be one thing. But with her coming home at night and her comment about needing a second wife.
Well, that's the thing, is like, even if she didn't directly encourage it, which I doubt based on her comments, she sees herself as the second wife in this case. She sees herself as the kid's mom, and that's not okay.
Well, and then it also makes me wonder if there's more going on between her and the husband if she's coming home when he's around, right?
Yeah, I mean, there could be an actual full-blown affair going on. And that is definitely something that needs to be considered in its full, like it's considered seriously, especially since she's been coming around at night when OP's not there. Mm-hmm. But whether or not there's an active affair, I think she needs to be not a part of OP in the son's life anymore, because this is a gross boundary violation and not okay at all.
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, what do you think about the whole people kind of ragging on OP for not being a good mom because they're
Why aren't they ragging on the husband?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I wanted to go with that.
And that's, the whole time, like, mother-in-law and this best friend, they're all like, oh, if you weren't such a bad mom. What about the husband? He's working too. Like, and you volunteered your help. Like, OP and husband could have hired someone. There's nothing wrong with having help outside of your family if you both parents work. There's nothing wrong with having two working parents and having outside help.
So I do kind of also want to point out that a lot of people have hired help and stuff like that and nannies and whatnot. And I think that how would someone feel if their nanny was being called mama or something like that by the kid, right? And I think that's one of those situations where you really have to kind of put yourself in the situation of like, would this be appropriate for any other professional to be, called mama or encourage the kids to call them mama? And I think the answer is probably not. I don't see a place where that would be okay.
Yeah, well, any professional setting that would be discouraged. Mm-hmm. And, if she's trying to provide a daycare like or nannying like service, she needs to be professional about it. But it's not about that. My guess is that she wants OP's husband in OP's life and is upset he married someone else, so she's gonna, weasel her way in.
And if that's the case, then this seems like a really terrible situation. And I mean, I wouldn't have thought it if she had just left mm-hmm. and hadn't said anything about like the whole oh, your husband needs a second wife type of thing.
And then sicking the mother-in-law
Yeah.
on OP. Like, I'm wondering if mother-in-law always wanted hubby and best friend to get together and is now like, here's the chance.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if this relationship didn't last,
Mm-hmm.
especially since OP's husband isn't sticking up for her.
Yeah, he just seems entirely indifferent, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, he should have taken his friend and his mom to task for this inappropriate behavior. He should have been horrified when he found out what happened.
Yeah.
Not just like, whatever.
But let me know what you folks think. So, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why did the child plant a jam packet?
Oh, the child planted a jam packet because they wanted to rock and roll all night and jam every day.
Because they wanted to grow jelly beans.
Oh.
And it's National Jump for Jelly Beans Day.
But why would they think jam would produce? Oh, jelly beans. I mean, jam. I guess. I can. I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
See what I have to put up with? Brian, like, picking apart the jokes that I wrote for him. That I'm still writing for him. I haven't finished August jokes yet because life is busy.
It is busy. It is busy. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and guidance, and please have it on being a bad partner.
Don't creep on your partner and help them when you can. Like, if they need a tampon, maybe get them a tampon. And if your friend starts trying to become your new wife, then maybe have a word with them and put a stop to that.
Maybe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.